Back in, what year was it? 2019? I made a video analyzing all the Mole Man videos. This opened a Pandora's box, to say the least. I got a lot of emails, DMs, and more, like comments on my Steam profile just asking me questions about stuff I already presented. At the time, I didn't know much more, nor did I really care that much. However, in an effort to close this whole thing off, and to pass the torch to someone else to analyze and pick apart, I'm recapping the information necessary to understand the events of the previous theory video, which I will be presenting here as an updated, more accurate story. Fear not, there is new information here, but to those who haven't watched the previous videos, don't worry about that either, as I will be showing and explaining the same story as before. Within this fictional universe, there are different realms and timelines, and those who created them. Before, I had covered just one, which I will call Timeline A. I will call the Hat in Time story Timeline C, and a new realm I had not yet touched on, the realm of the Resting King, Timeline B. Timeline B will be explained in a future video, as there is just too much, more than Timeline A to cover, as it spills into the events of A Hat in Time, and introduces many new characters and plot points. Timeline A was created by entities called the Founders. They're not very nice, as you'll find out. Because the power of the Founders was lacking on a material level, they assembled a group of superpowered individuals known as the Timekeepers to carry out their bidding. As you could expect, the Founders achieved something of a deity status, as prayers were dedicated to them.
O Founders, creators of time, protect us from the dark and guide us to the Golden Land. O guiding light, unworthy are we, your song is eternal, that only the Founders may listen. O Moonchild, blessings upon you. We await your arrival.
What any of that, aside from references to a Moonchild, means is beyond my understanding. For context, most of this story is told from the perspective of a character named Cavum. I had mistranslated his name as Cavis, but it's actually Cavum. He is telling the story of Timeline A to Hat Kid, and if you want to know where they are, or how they got there, I couldn't tell you. Or why Hat Kid's attention span was enough to hear this whole thing. Cavum, unfortunately, is a bit of an unreliable narrator. Not everything he says can necessarily be trusted, more on that later. He begins his story with this passage.
There is a story passed down by our people. Before time began, before space existed, there was nothing. A dark void. But one day a light appeared, and with it, life. But is life worth saving when time takes it all away? I have contemplated these words for a long time. What if I could stop it? You're worthy to hear my story.
It should be known that the Timekeepers and the Founders possess an artifact known as the Moonpiece. It resembles a timepiece, but has far stronger nondescript abilities. This is important soon. The story centers around a teacher known as Master Tempus, a woman who took on 3 students, not 2 as previously believed. For the time being, there are only 2, however, and the 3rd student comes along sometime later. The 2 students are Agrippa and Pella, strong childhood friends. For unknown reasons, probably because the story's writing flies by the seat of its pants sometimes, Agrippa was trained separately by Tempus. His relevance comes in Timeline B, which is, Anyways, that's for another time. It's likely that Agrippa was the first student Tempus took on, as he is a prince, the son of the Resting King, formerly thought to be the Roach King, but it actually stands for the Resting King. As for how Agrippa is descended from a literal giant cockroach, you'll have to figure that one out yourself. It gets more confusing when you account for the fact that Tempus is Resting King's mother, so she is Agrippa's grandmother? I don't... That means the decision to train Agrippa as a timekeeper was drenched in nepotism. For the time being, this is all the context you will need. So one day, these spooky, shadowy things started attacking the universe on an unknown level, at least on a planetary scale. We know this because a prayer was made to the founders to do something about it.
I saw a light. Time stood still. Water stopped flowing. A feeling of heat. Suddenly, I could not feel my body. A black mass lunging at the light. Looking for power. My people looked upwards. Flying objects crossed us. A spear pierced the sky. Unknown people wearing cloaks. Lost everything. Time's end. Now we wait.
The founders refer to these beings as shadows. They don't like them very much, and the reason for this was stated in the following dialogue.
This is not right. Do they not have the same right to exist as we do?
That is besides the point. With that power, they could trigger Time's End. Master Tempus, your duty is to protect Lady Pura and teach her the ways of time. She'll be in danger if we do not act. Therefore, it is in your best interest.
I understand.
This is around the time, I believe, that Tempus was bequeathed the responsibility of teaching Pella the ways of the Timekeepers. It is also around the time, in case you didn't pick up on it, that the founders order a genocide of the Shadows. Tempus, being half Shadow herself, somehow, more on that later, objects to this, citing it as a violation of their rights, which it is. However, the founders manipulate her into carrying this out. Unfortunately, however, this whole war results in the devastation of entities on both sides. Some time later, Pella and Tempus are in a graveyard. They stumble across a very young and powerless shadow who Tempus refuses to kill, or allow Pella to kill.
Lady Pella, this is a war zone, so stay close to me.
Yes, Master Tempus.
Ugh, such pointless fighting. The founders have gone too far. They have given in to fear over a timeline that might not even happen. How do we even know this won't trigger Time's End?
Master, look! A shadow!
Stay behind me while I deal with this. Wait. You're just a child! No, this isn't right. I will not kill an innocent creature. It is all right, little one. Come with me. I won't hurt you.
Master, are you sure about this?
Yes, Pella. I taught you to follow the code of the founders, but that does not mean you should follow blindly. Question everything, and do what you feel is right. I will protect this young shadow from harm, because that is what I believe is right. It is okay. You're safe now. Come with me. From now on, your name will be Cavus.
So now, Cavum has entered the fray. He side notes his new, as of the place in his narrative, involvement in the story with the following passage.
Will it hurt? Deep down I know the answer, and yet the soul keeps us going. I dread the end and hold time dearly to the point of insanity. But I know deep down there is something more. I saw it long ago and it haunted our thoughts. It always has. The path I took was not by choice. Lady Pella, Master Tempus, it was a false path you gave me.
So it's fairly obvious that Cavum might be ever so salty about the events that happen in the future. For the time being, Cavum is joyfully accepted as Tempus's third student. Unfortunately, the founders are not so enthused.
It is only a child. I will raise it to follow our path, and he will become a student under my care.
This is out of the question. You already have a student, and she will be in danger while that thing remains alive.
We have their sun piece. We have done enough. This timeline is safe.
This is the exact passage where they are explicitly admitting to genocide, rather bluntly put by Tempus. It is implied that the Founders allow Cavum to be a student for the time being, as he undergoes a process known as the Ritual of Cleansing and gets his hat, which is something of an identifier for the Timekeepers. Cavum and Pella also become uneasy friends, that is, they are not described to be particularly fond nor apathetic towards each other. This changes in Timeline B, but that is neither here nor there. For a time, Cavum laments his decisions while operating as a timekeeper. He goes on several rants about how he was cheated or tricked or shown a false path, but I suspect that none of this really is that important, as it all really says the same thing. Sometime after the Ritual of Cleansing, Tempus takes Pella and Cavum to a place that is called the Realm of Dreams, which later becomes the central location for Timeline B. Tempus begins a lesson.
This is the Realm of Dreams. It is a place of great importance. Every dream that has ever existed in the waking world can be seen in this place. Entering a dream world is dangerous, my students, but it is an important role as keepers. We serve the Founders and, in turn, protect the timeline. But know this, you must never enter the dreams of the dead. It is forbidden. Much like their physical bodies, the memories of the dead also wither away. You could get trapped, or worse, fall into the void. When I was much younger, I saw that darkness up close. I stared deep into the abyss and felt my life energy being pulled. It is a cold and dark place of nothing. We lost many good keepers before the Founders forbade any further ventures, and not one single keeper has returned from the void. I truly pity them. But enough of that. Let us continue our lesson. Take out your book.
She explains here how she became half-shadow by peering into the dreams of the dead, which she says not to do. So naturally Cavum does it, and discovers the genocide of his entire race. This is problematic. Cavum, feeling rage and betrayal at this point, returns to the Timekeeper quarters to steal a sun piece. This enrages the Founders, who decide to kill Tempus so that they can have Pella kill Cavum without question, by pinning the murder on Cavum.
Cavus has betrayed us.
They also entrust the title of New Tempus to Pella. Meanwhile, Cavum was on his way to reverse time and stop the genocide of his people.
I touched, and was touched back. It flowed like words in a book. Is this the song I am? I was before. The truth filled me with rage, but now I feel free. Perhaps death's blanket gave me to break. Your spirit gave me the end I was seeking.
The Founders have told me everything. You killed Master Tempus. Why? Why did you do it, Cavus?
You exist, I exist, we exist. So long as there is time, there will always be an end. I sought the answers and existence responded with a song, the melody of life.
Pella fights Cavum, and it results in Pella losing.
Pella, I saw it all. I saw the dreams of my people. I will travel back to the day you found me. I will stop it from happening, and then no one else has to die. I will stop time itself. No more will the sun or the moon cast light onto this world.
Cavum leaves to go do exactly this. Sometime after the fight, Pella enters a portal, assumedly leading to Timeline B. Cavum's dialogue while he is alone is more spiteful language.
Oh, Founders, creators of time, lie to us. Do not guide us to the golden sand. Killed my master, almost killed me. I killed the guiding moonlight, the twisted sun, all meaningless against the power of the void.
This seems to imply that Cavum believes he killed Pella, who was revealed to have only lost an eye in the fight. Past this, I don't know much about what happens between Timeline A and B, nor do I know the implications of Cavum starting Time's End in the spot he does. This is for the story of another timeline. The story ends with Cavum saying his final words to Hat Kid, whose name is revealed to be Henny.
This is my story. I've waited here in this dark void for a long time, although truthfully time has no meaning here. In the past, I often wondered what good is time if it takes everything away. That is why I wanted your timepiece, as it has the power I need to fix my past mistakes. But you are strong, far stronger than I. You look just like my master. I hope she found peace. Listen, when you leave this place, I will return to the darkness. I will cease to exist. That power you use in my timeline, our peace has brought ruin to the world. Perhaps you will be wiser. Use power for the right things. At least for the things that you believe in. So long as we are remembered, the fire will never burn out. Moonchild, always remember us.
Since I'm not really in the mood to cover Timeline B, and I made this video in the first place, I'm not intending to leave everyone high and dry regarding its events. So I will be passing the torch to a friend, and will make a separate announcement video linking that one, covering the events of Timeline B. It should be noted that there is no distinction on what distance of time is between Timeline A and B, but it does contain returning and new characters, as well as a ton of exposition and context for both Timeline A and C. For the time being, I can set the stage to give something to look forward to. Timeline B takes place during an event known as the White Twilight, in a realm known as the Realm of Dreams, from before. It is a post-Time's End universe contained to a small area that operates as a sort of loading area, if you will, between Timeline A and C. It is more abstract and contains places that have been torn apart from the force of this White Twilight, which strains the color from things and slowly erases them. Relatively, it is in the same place as the locations in Timeline A, but distorted and dying rather than alive and well. This realm is watched over by the Arking, who is much kinder and understanding in contrast to the Founders. It is interestingly also coexisting with Timeline C, as a specific area, ultra-silenced, is called the Edge of Existence, and contains the last remnants of Timeline A. So in sum, the next part of the story takes place at the same time as A Hat in Time, at the edge of its universe just outside of normal space, as characters alive and undead race to stop the White Twilight from eating the universe. As for my activities, I've more or less quietly quit making videos because I found nothing about them fulfilling after a time. Me being weird as I was in most previous videos was always kind of an act, because I figured no one wanted to listen to the actual intellectual content that I wanted to talk about, and the voice of some monotone guy with a faint Irish accent. I will eventually make an announcement video for my upcoming game project that I've been working on in the silence, and any content about it from that point will be transferred to my studio's YouTube channel rather than this one. This doesn't mean I won't upload here ever again afterwards, but it does mean you shouldn't expect any more videos from what I just mentioned. For those who give a shit, I know it's sad, but I just don't feel the satisfaction I used to from doing Let's Plays, but I do feel it from making more of the content that I want to. Thanks, and I'll see you all when I see you.